What is going on, crypto family? This is your boy Random Arts coming with a quick video. And on this video, guys, we're going to be talking about Roaring Kitty being the next Popcat, guys. And I'm also going to tie it into round trip because I see a lot of people talk about round trip. And it typically I get this on comment, anytime I make a post about my P&L. And if you guys don't already know, I invested a little $300 into Roaring Kitty. Currently, I'm up a little over $100,000, and the comments tend to come from posts like this that I make because again, Roaring Kitty, it's about Keith Gill. Keith Gill used to show his P&L. Since since the token is Roaring Kitty, show my P&L to kind of play off of that narrative of Keith Gill. So this is the whole reason behind, just in case you guys didn't know. But typically the comments that I get is like, yo, you don't want to round trip your bag, man. Like, hey, man, you need to sell so that way you don't round trip your bag. All of that is coming off of fear and not from a strategic standpoint. Like going into this, I know I'm going to have drawdowns. Each asset will have drawdowns. Things don't pump forever, It don't pump forever. There's eventually going to be a pullback. There's eventually going to be corrections. And during the correction, this is when you got to know why you're in the asset. For me, I know this asset in itself is going to get to $1. It's going to get to over $1 billion market cap, right? And the reason why I know this is because, again, this token is centered around the community. The community wants this to go over $1 billion market cap, so I know it's going to get over $1 billion market cap. Like, as silly as that sounds, that's all it really takes. Well, aside from the community actually taking the actions as well for it to get to $1 billion like shilling and rating. But many times when you look at projects that do round trip, it's due to the fact that those tokens, it starts off with the structure of the token. Like if you guys, go into a pre-sale or something like that, then the devs are getting a little token put to the side for them, for marketing, for expenses. Those tokens at some point in time, they're going to get added to the liquidity pool and it's going to extract, let's say you're on Ethereum, it's going to extract Ethereum from that liquidity pool, which is going to drive the price of that token down. If that project don't gain, enough volume to sustain the selling that they're doing, then you're going to essentially see a project chart look like this. This is essentially what's going to happen because, again, you would have to wait for volume to come in order for it to balance it out. Because, guys, it's yin and yang. That's what you got to realize. Like liquidity pool is yin and yang. You have the one token, which would be the underlying, which is Ethereum, if it's on the Ethereum chain. Then you have the token that you invested into. So a lot of time with projects that round trip, they don't have a balanced liquidity pool. Like without a balanced liquidity pool, it's going to be very, very hard. Or without a balanced liquidity pool and also without volume getting generated, it's going to be very hard for that token to have, to survive. And that's simply put. So you buy a token right here, it has this huge pump. And a lot of the round trips tend to happen on newly launched projects. Like the projects that's been around, that's proven itself, unless if you sell, then you're not really going to have a round trip. Look, this pump to oblivion, boom, boom, boom. You didn't take profit, came back, no community behind it, and it's done. And that's tend to be the trend. And this is what they're associating round trip with whenever they're looking at my P&L. They're thinking like, oh my God, I remember I bought this one token, I round tripped that bad boy, and I should have took profit when I was up massively. That's one of them. The other one is switching season or switching markets. So same thing with people who invested into Shiba Inu back in May all the way into October. Then you had this massive pump on Shiba Inu. But after the massive pump was over, the market changed. It went from a bullish market to a bearish market. So essentially, it got down, and if you bought here, you just round tripped your bag because of the market switch. You didn't recognize that the market switched, so you didn't take profits. But this one is a lot better than the newly launched one, because all you would have to do now is just wait for the bearish market to switch into a bullish market, which is where we're currently at. And now you're going to be able to regain all of this missed opportunity. And in the bull market, it could actually go a lot higher than this. So those are one of the two, and they automatically associated. But then you have these type. And this is why I say like Roaring Kitty is similar to Popcat. Not only because of the structure, Popcat is a CTO, Dev rugged them over here, but all of the tokens that were out is in the liquidity pool. So it's like a reset, right? Then through this process, because this one thing too, this is a little side note. When I tell people like CTOs are the best thing, they automatically think if a project just launched a few days ago and it became a CTO, like it's gonna automatically pop. Like, no, that doesn't happen like that, unless if you get more volume to account for the tokens that the devs rug, then boom, yeah, you could have a very, very fast cooker on the CTO. But typically a good CTO, it's going to take maybe a year, for it to reset the damage that that the dev did to get the disgruntled people out. And once they're out of the equation, then the community, around that time, they're still forming, still building, then boom, you could be able to have this. Because imagine if you bought Popcat right here, right? You're having a massive game, boom, yay, like we're going to the moon, baby. Then all of a sudden, start getting this pullback. It gets right back down to where your entry's at. But since it is a CTO, since the tokens are accounted for, everything's in circulation, it's going to end up having a pop, because again, the only people that could sell on you on Popcat is holders, people who actually had to put money into the liquidity pool, making it balanced. Now the liquidity pool is now balanced. A balanced liquidity pool will keep an asset, it'll allow the asset to have this type of chart. To me, these are one of the best charts because you could legit time it. You could time your entry to the T, because it's going to do the same thing over and over and over and over. And this is all it is, just pattern recognition. So you get this big move, boom, 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 came back all the way back to my entry. Like, oh man, so what are you supposed to do? Probably buy the dip, not financial advice, of course. Then boom, it goes up again. Oh my God, look what started happening. Oh, it went back down. Like, it's a little bit higher than my entry. I just round trip it. No, you get this bounce again. It bounce, and all of a sudden, if you bought here, it's right back down to my entry. But guess what ended up happening? Boom. And now look where it came back to, right? Then eventually it's going to do that. This is Popcat. Same thing with Roaring Kitty. Dev rug over here. It took over a year to reset everything that the dev did. Now this is a brand new token. Everything's out in the open. Because at one point when I bought my Roaring Kitty, I was up maybe around like $40,000. And all of a sudden you get this big sell-off, a 90% drop. And my $40,000 was at one point at $6,000. People were like, oh my God, you round tripped it. You're an idiot. You should have took profit when it was at 40. The next thing you know, again, because it's community, get this big pop. Oh, now I'm up 80. Then boom, you get this 63% drawdown. And at this point, I'm still up on my position, but it's like 13,000. 14,000. It's better than the 6,000 over here, right? Then boom, you get this big pop again. Now I'm up over a quarter $250,000, because I never posted when we was at the all-time high. I wish I would have took the screenshot, but I was up over $250,000 when it was up over here, right? The next thing you know, it's like, bump, you get down. Oh, you should have took that $250,000, man. Like you getting, big drawdown, 82% drawdown. But over here, I was up like maybe like 20,000, 25,000. Still better than, when they was down here, which was around like 13, 14. So as you start to see, guys, it really just progressed as things, it's going to keep bouncing. And this is why, I should have been doing this earlier. This is why, like in a separate wallet, because I don't want to interfere with showing you guys this, because I think that's going to be another catalyst for Roaring Kitty as well. Once I hit $1,000,000 showing you guys on the wallet, I think this is when you're going to see a lot of people really start to tune in to my channel as well as my X account, because when they see $1,000,000, they were like, "Yo, he know what he's talking about." Like, but yeah, I'm not even gonna get into it. I'll make a separate video explaining that in detail. But once that happens, Roaring Kitty is gonna pop even more. But in a separate wallet, what I'm doing, I've been buying the dips over here, guys, accumulating like it's a new position. Anytime it dips, I'm buying more because it's doing the same exact pattern as this, guys. This is why I say Roaring Kitty is the next Popcat. The pattern of it is extremely similar. Look at these drawdown: 93, 78, 90, 63, 82, 92, 87, 80, 71, 80, 70. And each time these have these big drawdown is followed by a big up move, and we're already in the stage. Let me show you how it looks now. We're already in the stage of the up move. Look at the 82 drawdown right here. Boom. And already, I think this month from this pullback, I want to say we're up, I think 50 or 40% or something like that. But yeah, but hopefully this has been educational for you guys, so that way you could really understand the difference of drawdowns as well as round tripping your bags. This one, newly launched one, for me, I tend to avoid it. I want the chart to prove to me that it earns my money, because a lot of people, they just give their money out too freely, willy nilly. They're like, yeah, I'll just slap something into it and just see what happened. Like, no, like for me, it got to be intentional. Like, this chart has to prove to me that it deserves my money. And this is why when people were shilling me this, I was like, yeah, I'll put it on my watch list. But I never took action because it never proved it. These, if you get yourself in a situation like this, it's not the worst in the world, because you're going to end up making it back. Typically, you have a super high chance of gaining all of this and a lot more, but you do have to wait. That's the only bad side. You do have to wait for the market to switch. These, they're just going to naturally do. And this is, again, why I like true CTOs, guys. True CTOs make it easier for you and give you confidence. Because, again, if my competition, not even my competition, but the people that I'm invested with is a community that's showing up every day, waiting for their bag, shilling for their bag, and we virtually have no overhead, like, there's really no downside to this. But this video is longer than what I intended to be. So since you guys watch all the way to the end, the secret word of the day is CTO. Let me see you guys put CTO in the comment down below. Random Arts guys signing off. Hopefully you enjoy your Monday. Peace.